I love reading books. That is one of my favorite things to do. As a kid, I spent a lot of time in the library and just reading anything that I could get my hands on. I love being able to just disappear into just this world that is filled with possibilities and filled with adventure and passion and humor and good versus evil, and self-discovery. I love a good gripping book that just captures somebody captures transformation, really. Is what I love to kind of lose myself in. And when I got married and I started having kids, I actually stopped reading. I just got so caught up in the busyness of life, but also, honestly, I was just in survival mode. Life was very, very difficult for a few years, and it was all I could do to just kind of keep my head above water. And so I actually wasn't taking care of myself. I wasn't really pursuing things that brought me joy. And I kind of forgot that I had a passion for reading. And it wasn't until a few years ago that it's like I kind of just remembered. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, I don't ever read anymore. I forgot that I enjoy this. I forgot that this is fun. And I forgot how to have fun. And so I started reading again. I actually reached out to my brother, and I was like, I don't even know where to begin. I don't remember what I like. I need some book recommendations. And so he actually recommended me a few books, and that's actually what started me back into reading again and back into imagining and dreaming. And it was actually through this process of rediscovering my own book interests and my own joy of reading, and reading about strong characters, reading about adventure, reading about good versus evil, reading about passion and boldness and bravery and romance and just, these wonderful adventures. And I realized that I'm like, wow, there are things about these characters, and granted it's fiction, but there are things about these characters that I am drawn to, that I find myself wanting to be more like. I find myself wanting more of that in my real life. And as much as I love to read, I also don't want the books that I read to be better than my real life. Reading these books actually inspired me to make changes in my life, because even though it was fiction, it was something that was enjoyable, and it was inspirational, and it was fun, and it was like, wow, I want to be the heroine in my own story. I want my life to be this exciting. I want my marriage to be this wonderful. I want my family to be this close. I want to have this kind of adventure and this kind of fun. And I want to stand up for the things that I believe in and that I feel strongly about. And I want to speak up and be bold and make a difference. And so it was in reading these books that I realized, I'm like, wow, like, this is my life. And I don't want to spend an entire weekend lost in a different reality instead of living out my own reality, and realizing that, especially when you surrender your life to God and you allow Him to lead you and you allow Him to do the work in you that He wants to do and become the person He created you to be, that is a life filled with excitement and filled with miracles and filled with passion and filled with trial and filled with struggle. But it is not boring. It is a life of adventure. And I just am reminded of that, and I am inspired by that, and I am motivated by that, to know that, one, I'm going to keep reading books because I'm going to keep doing what I love and enjoying those things, but I'm also going to keep being inspired, and I'm going to keep being challenged, and I'm going to keep being reminded to live every day so that my life is as exciting and as fulfilling and as purposeful and meaningful as the books that I read, because this is my life and I am put here in this season for this time on purpose and for a purpose. And I want to give all that I have to that. And I know that that is what God wants for me too. And so just wanting to just be that hero and that, or that heroine in my own story, and wanting that my life to be a life that is well lived, and it is a life filled with living and not with just existing.